that's red. She's got the spices, smile so bright. Cooking with Judith right by my side. By my side. Chop, chop, sizzle, frying pan heat. From pancakes to a fancy feast. Cooking with Judith, fun to say the least. The least.
Hello and welcome to my kitchen. I'm Judith. And with barbecue season fast approaching, or already here for some of us, I thought I would share with you my favorite sides to go with barbecue. So today I'm going to make coleslaw with a special ingredient that makes it super tasty. A bean salad with a yummy dressing. And some cornmeal muffins. So let me start chopping up vegetables, and I'll be right back. Okay. For my coleslaw, I have your standard green cabbage, shredded fine, red onion, and carrot. If you wanted to add red cabbage, that's fine. Perfectly acceptable. I just don't happen to have one, and I didn't want to buy another cabbage because I'll be eating cabbage forever. But the secret ingredient that makes it super tasty is soy pickled garlic. And you want to slice it fine. Now this you can probably find in an Asian market. I do make my own in case you can't find it yourself in the market. I will link the recipe for that. And you don't need a whole lot. And now we'll make the dressing, which is a standard coleslaw dressing. Want about, let's get out of the way, there we go, half a cup of mayonnaise, a tablespoon of just white vinegar. Oops, we're not going to pour it nicely. And the amount of vinegar you put in is adjustable to taste and to how thin or thick you want your dressing. And then we want, we'll start with about half a tablespoon of sugar. And again, that's adjustable depending on how sweet you want your dressing. And let's just stir it all together. Now if it is too thin, just add some more mayonnaise. And to get that mixed in, I'm just going to add just a pinch of salt. Okay, let me get a taste on it here. Okay, that is nice. So you do want to do your coleslaw ahead of time to give your dressing time to soak in and meld with all those flavors. In fact, if you wanted to leave the dressing in the fridge before putting it on the salad, just before you serve it, that's even better. So let's just do this. And then give the salad a toss. And I want just a little taste here. and very nice. All right. So we're going to cover that and put it in the fridge. For our cornmeal muffins, we're going to take 3/4 of a cup of cornmeal, and we're going to soak it in 1 1/4 cups of milk. So let's move that out of the way. We're going to put this in here, because I want the smaller measuring cup for something else. But it won't hurt if there's some milk in it. There we go. Let's just mix that in a spoon. Just give it a bit of a stir. So we want our cornmeal to soak. And we'll just set that aside for 10 minutes. And in that cup, we're going to put an egg and 1/4 cup of vegetable oil. There we go. And in our mixing bowl, we want 1 cup of flour. Now, in case you're confused about why some measuring cups don't have a rim above their measurement, like most measuring cups have, if you can see that, there's a space between the top of what the biggest measure is and the top of the cup. Some measuring cups, this is a 1/4 cup measure. There's no line inside. The ones that have the rim are for wet measure. The ones that don't are dry measure. Okay, so that's our flour, 1 cup. Then we want a tablespoon of baking powder. Ow. And a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And we're going to mix that together. And oops, I almost forgot. Need to preheat the oven to 400 degrees. It is a good thing that our cornmeal has to soak, because it's going to take a while for my oven to get that hot. While that's going, anyways, we can mix up our egg and oil. And it doesn't have to be perfectly mixed, it's just yolk broken and white sort of mixed in. And now we just wait for our 10 minutes to be up. It's time to add our egg and oil mixture to our cornmeal mixture, but one thing I forgot, and you don't want to forget, is sugar. If you don't put sugar in your cornbread, it's not going to be nice. So the amount of sugar you put in can vary. Depends on how sweet you like your cornbread. I'm using 1/3 cup. I'm going to mix that in with the flour. Then we're going to take our cornmeal and milk mixture, and we're going to add, and this is why I use the larger cup, the egg and oil mixture to it. Give it a stir. And then we are going to add our wet mix to our dry mix. Making sure we get all our cornmeal out of the bottom of the bowl. And then just blend it till it's all incorporated. You don't want big spots of flour. Okay. Then you need to decide what pan you're cooking this in. Or, I should say baking it. Do you want large cornbreads, small cornbreads, one big pan of cornbread? I usually do my cornbread in one of two pans. Either my square one or my round one. They both make king-size muffins. I don't have any liners for my square pan today, so the round one it is. So what you want to do is line your pan. And this is supposedly a non-stick pan. I don't trust that. With baking pans, I find non-stick really is more of a sell thing than a reality. So paper liner in each pan. You make sure you only get one. Oh well, if two are stuck together, two are stuck together. I'm not fighting it. So for this recipe, it makes 6 of the large muffins or 12 of the regular size muffins. And you want to fill your muffin cups 2/3 full. And that is my oven telling me it's reached 400 degrees. So these will go in the oven, in the center of the oven, for 15 to 20 minutes. Being as they're large, I would expect them to go the full 20 minutes. That is 20 minutes and our muffins are out of the oven, looking glorious. Now I've let them cool just a little bit. Let me take them out. I'll put them on the rack to cool the rest of the way. And if you time it right, you can serve them hot out of the oven. But they don't suffer from being reheated in the microwave or eaten cold. I mean, even eaten at room temperature, they are wonderful. Alright, our third side is a 3-bean salad. For this, you do want a can of mixed beans, drained and rinsed, and some finely sliced celery, about 1 rib of celery, some chopped red onion. Don't just use a can of beans and throw dressing on it. It won't have any crunch or anything. Canned beans are notoriously mushy. If you have the time and the energy, cook your own beans. That would make it so much better. But when you're opting for quick and not trying to heat up the whole house, this works. So for our dressing, we're going to go with not quite 1/4 cup of olive oil, and that's extra virgin olive oil. The same amount of apple cider vinegar. And we'll taste later and make sure the balance is right. And we want a teaspoon of Dijon mustard. A tablespoon of maple syrup, or you could use honey. Nice liquid honey would be nice. A little bit of pepper, more or less depending on your taste. A pinch of salt. And we are going to grate 1 clove of garlic. So get that out of the way. Now, if you really like garlic, you could add 2 cloves of grated garlic. I'm just going for 1. And this is more than enough dressing for the amount of salad I have. So let's pour that over our salad. Give it a stir. Get everything mixed together. Oops, back in there. Okay, let's just give it a taste here. That's nice. A nice little sharp tang from the apple cider vinegar and the onion. And we're going to cover that and put that one in the fridge too until it's dinner time. And all of these can be made ahead. You just keep them in the fridge. The cornmeal muffins, just put them in an airtight container and keep them at room temperature. The recipes for the salads and the corn muffin are in the comment below the video. I will link the recipe for the ribs at the end. And let's try the coleslaw. There is a piece of the soy pickled garlic. Let me get that. Yummy. Okay. Our bean salad. Let's give it a mix. Oh, those are both so nice. You can do them ahead. Put them in the fridge. Bring them out when it's time to eat. And let's break into our muffin. Oh, that's so nice and fluffy. I've got some butter. Now, if your muffin was hot, butter would just melt right into it. That is so nice. Sorry, I need a rib. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again soon with a new recipe.